quick rundown on our sound deadening. We chose to use Kilmat. We spent a good few days researching it, and there's a bunch of products available. They all do roughly the same thing. We went with Kilmat primarily because it was cheap, pretty much the cheapest one, but it was also very readily available. There's a ton of it in stock right near us. And then on top of that, from what we researched, it seems like it gives off less of an asphalt odor when things get hot, and that was important to us since we're going to be spending pretty much full time in the van.
It was also more lightweight.
It was also more lightweight.
Than some of the other
A little bit thinner probably. And what you see here is roughly one full box of Kilmat. We haven't done these side panels yet because we're actually getting some flares installed there, so we're waiting to do that section, but so far we have it in these upper cavities on the floor, and we chose to cut it and do it between the corrugations. That made it a fair amount more time consuming than if we had just sort of laid it all out, but we just figured it would make everything fit a little bit more flush if we did it this way. We also did it kind of in the winter, which was difficult. It added a lot of time to it because we had to use basically a space heater and a hair dryer to heat up the surfaces before we put any of it down, and we used a heat gun to read the temperature because I believe you have to have it at about 53 degrees, something like that, in order for it to stick properly. So definitely wouldn't recommend doing it in the winter if you can avoid it. If you can't avoid it, then yeah, I mean, if you can park in the sun and you have a hair dryer, it actually does work okay. Just kind of probably triple or quadruples the amount of time each piece takes. We still haven't done all of the ceiling yet because we know we're going to need some ports in the ceiling for solar and whatnot, so we're waiting to get that part done. And there's probably a few other spots that we could get some more coverage on. And then with the wheel wells, our technique is variable. This was the first attempt. I wouldn't advise doing it this way. You can see we have kind of all kinds of weird shapes and small pieces. This one was a little bit more consistent. A lot of people seem to get it looking really beautiful. We didn't really pull that off. But we found basically using the biggest, most geometrically square pieces we could led to a better end result there. We covered those entirely because the wheel wells are a source for a lot of the noise, but you should be able to get away with 25 to 30% coverage and see more or less perfectly adequate returns on that. So yeah, that's our Kilmat, our sound deadening situation. We got it done. So the Ford Transit, like most other cargo vans, has a corrugated floor. We decided we wanted to fill these corrugations in so that the XPS foam board and everything on top of it would have a nice flat surface to bond to. Not everybody does want to do this. There's valid arguments either way. We decided it was a safer bet to go ahead and fill them in as opposed to leaving them empty. We figured since we're going to be using our van a lot in the winter that a little bit of extra sound deadening and insulation wouldn't hurt anything. So we used 2-pound density mini cell. It's 3/8 of an inch thick, and we got it in 5x6 sheets. It comes in various different sheet sizes, but those were the biggest ones. We used 3M90 adhesive spray to bond it to the van floor. And yeah, basically that just creates a nice surface that's relatively flat. We figure it distributes the weight of everything on it a little bit better. The site that we got it from is a fair amount cheaper than sort of the most popular source that we see for this product. It's not specifically marketed to van builders here, so it doesn't have that sort of markup that comes along with that territory. We'll put a link down in the description to that site. It's the same exact product that you see for van builders. It's just not marketed that way, so you don't pay that premium.
go check it. Oh my goodness, it fits.
That's pretty good. And just put it like, definitely have a strange height discrepancy over there.
Well, it will get pushed down.
Yeah.
There's a tiny gap, but we can tape
It's
it.
not too bad. Yeah.
How do you feel?
Good. It's looking good.
It's close over here.
Well, then maybe what the move is. Try to get like a deep angle on it so that it's like.
Still get these out.
Yeah.
Barely.
That's kind of what we're going for. What's going on there?
The rocket.